Hello and welcome to week 1 of my Beachcombing Blanket crochet along. It's really lovely to have you here. I'm Eleonora, the designer behind Coastal Crochet, and all the details about this blanket can be found over on my blog, Coastal Crochet. The links are in the description below. And it's really important for me to say that these video tutorials, they're not to replace the written pattern. So it's a really good idea for you to have a copy of the written pattern next to you while you're looking at these video tutorials. The tutorials are just there to help you make sense of some of the rounds and some of the stitches. I can explain them a little bit better, but it's certainly not to replace the written pattern. And if you don't have the written pattern, you won't be able to make this blanket just from these tutorials. So I hope you find the tutorials useful, together with the written pattern and lots of photos over on my blog. I think this blanket is achievable for anyone. Anyone who can crochet basic stitches will be able to achieve this blanket, but do have the written pattern as well. So before we get started, it's a really good idea to label your colours, because I'm using 10 colours in my blanket, and when I am referring to colour changes I will be calling them yarns A, B, C and through to yarn J. So really good idea to get your colours labelled up now. So this is the central square of our blanket that we're going to be making in week 1, and it's got all 10 colours in this square. And it's inspired by all the colours, shapes and textures from a beachcombing day. So I really hope you enjoy. So what you see here is the end of round 1 in yarn A, and we have 12 simple treble stitches into the central ring, and the first 3 chain counted as our first stitch. So I use UK crochet terminology, so I will try and translate as we go, but the pattern is available in full US terms over on my blog. So this is 12 UK treble or 12 US double crochet stitches. This square is made with the right side of the work facing us at all times, and in round 2 we join yarn B to any stitch. So just insert your hook into any stitch and join yarn B, and then we make 3 chain, which counts as the first treble US double crochet stitch of this next round, and we make 2 treble or 2 US double crochet stitches into the same stitch at the base of the 3 chain. Just insert your hook and work those 2 treble stitches as normal. And now what the pattern says is we make 1 popcorn in the next stitch, and popcorn gives us some lovely texture. And all it is, again, is treble stitches, US double crochet, and we work 5 treble stitches all into the next stitch. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And to make a popcorn, we remove the hook from that loop and then count back your 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we insert our hook into that first stitch we made as normal from front to back, then grab the loop from the last stitch we made and pull that loop through that first stitch, and then you get that lovely textured popcorn. And when you look at the pattern, it's now 3 treble into the next stitch, US double crochet. So in the next stitch do 3 treble, 1, 2 and 3, and then we make a popcorn into the next stitch, just like before. And we repeat that all the way around to the beginning. 3 treble US double crochet in one stitch, and then a popcorn into the next one. I'll just show you how to do that popcorn one more time. So I've done 3 stitches in there, 2 more to do, 1, 2. So I've worked 5 treble US double crochet all into that same stitch, remove your hook from that loop and then count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Insert your hook into that stitch as normal. Grab that loop and pull it through the first stitch. And now we have 2 popcorns. 3 treble in the next stitch and carry on repeating that all the way to the end. So here I am nearly at the end of round 2 and I'm just making my final popcorn. I've worked 5 treble US double crochet into that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Insert my hook through that first stitch, back into the loop and pull through. So that's my final popcorn at the end of the round. And now to close the round, we slip stitch into the top of that beginning 3 chain. Here's the first 3 chain we made. 1, 2, 3, and we insert our hook under both strands of that chain to give it the neatest possible finish. There we go, and then we work a slip stitch to close the round. And that is the end of round 2. There's 24 stitches in total, so 1, 2, 3 and the popcorn counts as 1. So 24 stitches in total, including those 6 popcorns. Lovely texture, and we fasten off just by putting the yarn through, giving it a little snip, and there we go. That's the end of round 2. So at the start of round 3, it tells us to join yarn A into the top of any popcorn stitch and pay attention to crochet into the tops of the popcorn stitches because it can be easy to miss. Here we see our 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3 that we made in round 2, and then the popcorn is here. It's this one here, which can be easy to miss. So 1, 2, 3 stitches, and there is our popcorn. So join yarn A to the top of any popcorn stitch and then make 3 chain. This 3 chain counts as our first treble US double crochet stitch of this next round, round 3. And so it says to work 2 treble US double crochet into the next stitch. So just work 2 treble stitches into the next stitch. 1, 2. And now we miss the next stitch, so we don't crochet into this next stitch here, but what we are going to be doing is working 1 raised triple treble front around the stitch directly beneath it, which is in round 1. Now a raised triple treble front, this is where the translation to US gets interesting. Our raised stitches in the UK are front post or back post stitches in the US. So a raised triple treble front in the US is actually a front post double treble stitch. So we miss this stitch, and this is where you wrap the yarn around the hook 3 times. It's a nice tall stitch, triple treble stitches. So wrap the yarn over the hook 3 times, miss this next stitch, but work a triple treble or a US double treble around the post, around the stem of this stitch, by inserting your hook from front to back, back round to the front again, and then just complete the stitch as normal. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It's a very tall stitch, and as you can see it reaches all the way down to that stitch from round 1. So we've missed the stitch directly behind it, and now in the instructions it tells us to go into the next stitch with 2 treble US double crochet stitches, 1 and 2. Then it's 1 treble in the next stitch. This is the top of that popcorn. And then it tells us to do 2 treble into the next stitch. 1, 2, and now we're missing the next stitch again, so miss the next stitch working another raised triple treble front or a front post double treble in the US in the stitch directly beneath it from round 1. So wrap your yarn over the hook 3 times, miss this stitch but go around the stitch directly beneath it from round 1, insert the hook around the stem of that stitch from front to back, back round to the front again, and then just complete the stitch as normal. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and repeat until you've completed the stitch. And now we have 2 of our raised stitches. So 2 treble in the next stitch. Obviously we missed this one directly behind the raised stitch, so into the next stitch we work 2 treble, 1 and 2, and then we repeat from if you look at the written pattern, it says repeat from star 4 times. So you go back to where the star is, and then it's 1 treble in the next stitch. We're just repeating what we've already worked this round. So I'm on the very last repeat, so 1 treble in the next stitch. This is where we need to pay attention to go into the top of those popcorns. 2 treble in the next stitch. Now it's our final raised stitch from round 3. So wrap the yarn over the hook 3 times, miss the next stitch, and work your raised triple treble front or US front post double treble around this stitch from round 1. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And then there will be 2 treble to do in the final stitch. 1 and 2. And then to finish the round, we do a slip stitch into the top of that starting 3 chain. 1, 2, 3. There's the top of that 3 chain. Insert your hook under both strands, and then work a slip stitch to close the round. And that is the end of round 3. Really, really lovely texture, and those raised stitches separating those lovely popcorns from round 2. So we fasten off.